Hi everybody, Sandra Duran Wilson here, and welcome to this week's Mixed Media Soul Sparks. Every week I have some unusual things for you, and this week is no different. We're going to be working with some aluminum cans, and I like sparkling water, so I saved my cans, and I'm going to show you what to do with them to create some unusual things. Now, I've gotten aluminum panels that are specially made for painting, and I do love painting on those. So I thought, well, what about, using all of these cans for some other ideas? In one of my books, we did a thing of printing on the aluminum. So here you can see where I've taken the can, and I'll show you how I got it open like this, and I've taped it onto a carrier paper, and then I ran it through an inkjet printer. And here you can see it's faded away over the years. I've had it in a drawer with other things, so it's not real lasting. So I want to show you how to use paint and other things to create a more stable way of working with the aluminum. So the first thing is you're going to need some aluminum cans, and you want to be really careful when you're cutting these because these edges are sharp. Now these are 10 snips, but I've actually gotten my big heavy-duty scissors to cut through this part, but I'm just going to use the 10 snips because they're easier. And I'm just cutting through the top, and then I come back in with the scissors. Said, be careful because this stuff is sharp and it'll poke you. Then I'm going to come down here to right there. Okay, I'm going to throw those away. And here you can see how it's curled up. So I just take it on the edge of the table and just bend it. So it starts to flatten it out. And then I can take my scissors and trim this to where it's a little straighter without the jagged edges. Now this can's a little bit different shape, so I could cut that and I'd have a different size. But let me show you what I'm going to do with these. As you can see here, I've got lots of different things going on. And I'm going to show you how to paint on these and create all these patterns that you can then nail onto this board. So the first thing I need to do is to sand this a bit. And of course, I always wash out the can before cutting it up. So if you haven't done that, you'll need to wash the can. Just carefully, because like I said, these edges are sharp. It'll poke you. It really doesn't matter what grit sandpaper. This one's the 120, I think. And if you've got some wrinkles like here, don't worry about it because I'm going to cut this up later. All right, let me get some gloves on and I'll show you some ideas about painting it. Now in one of our previous months, I did a thing where I showed you marbled papers, and you could actually use that same product to marble onto this aluminum because you're just dipping it in to that water with the inks. And I'm going to be showing you using acrylic paints And all of these were done using acrylic paints. This one has several layers, so you can build up these layers. If you want the metal to really show through, a more transparent paint is going to give you the most shine that's coming through. So, you know, even this, the quinacridone gold, tends to be a more transparent paint. Now, my brush was just in water, so I need to get the water off of the brush, because if I put a wet brush with the paint onto here, it's going to want to bead up. And it might still bead up because it still has a little water on it, but yeah, you see what it's doing right there where it's wanting to bead up? So if that happens, you just give it a minute and kind of let that water evaporate. Go back in and brush it again, or you kind of go with it. Now, you saw it was like one drop on there. I'm not putting a thick layer of paint on this. If you try and put a thick layer of paint on this aluminum, it's going to dry and it's all going to peel off. So you want to make sure that you work thin. And you can do all the other things that you can do with acrylic paint. Like this is rubbing alcohol. So I spray the alcohol on there. I get those openings. And if I wanted to, let's see. Oh, here's one. I had another blank one like this. So while that's drying, I'm going to show you something a little different. Again, I'm going to sand this one. I could tell I hadn't sanded it yet. And then I'm going to come in with, let's use a little bit more opaque color. So for that one, let's just try this red. And I'm going to put it directly onto here. Let me get this other brush. This still has some of my gold on it. And I can come in here with, this is like just a tool that has ridges on it, and I can make marks. Let's try this one. You could even come in and stamp on top of it. And I like to use more of a heavy body paint when I want to put the color for the stamp. So let me just put a bit of this out. I don't want to take all my time painting because I want to show you the adhering it to the boards. So this is one of those fun foam stamps. There's a video on it. And then I'm just going to take this and you see how easy it is to stamp with this, even on top of the kind of wet paint. Make sure you give this enough time to dry before you start trying to add it to your composition here. But I've got my fingerprints there, so I could come back in here, cover those up. Whatever stamps you want, you got to just clean these stamps off right away. Easy to do. I'm just spraying it with water. Put that over there. Now I want to show you what you're going to do with these things. So set that aside. What I've got going on here is I have a piece of wood. It was just some leftover plywood. And I gessoed it. You can just see it's just kind of been sitting outside the studio. I gessoed it, and then I decided to add the blue paint because as I start to put these pieces in, I may have little areas peeking through. Now, when you start to adhere these, there are different ways. I tried to find some tacks, not push pins, but a tack that had a wide head, but I couldn't find any. So at the store, they had, these are kind of like a finishing nail. This is, look over here. It's a 1/2 inch smooth shank. I think I'd like even one not quite so long, but it's what I could find. So I've got these pieces. I started at the bottom and I'm overlapping these. I just cut these pieces up with my scissors. And then I'm going to overlap that. I put the nail in my needle nose pliers because it makes it much easier to hold it when I want to nail this in. Well, I still can't even do it when I'm... Come on. Didn't want to go in there, huh? Let's try again. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up these patterns, different colors. And I am going to show you another way of using a staple gun. Now this is a heavy duty staple gun. Let me just turn this. And these heavy duty staples, you see how it sits up on top. So I just take my hammer and hammer it down. This one kind of moves, this one doesn't. I've got a lighter weight staple gun. It doesn't work so well, so use the heavyweight staple gun. Now here are a few other ideas. I'm going to create like a composition making kind of a, what did I have? It was like a little house or something I was going to build with my pieces. I can't remember how I had it, but I'll get it finished and show it to you when I have this done. So you can make patterns. You could do stamps. You could create, you know, a symbol or a face or whatever you wanted. And you just start to hammer these and put them together. Another thing you can do with these that I've seen is really fun is you can actually stitch them together with a sewing machine. So let's say you wanted to kind of create a book and you've got some fabric. This is thin enough to where you can just stitch it on the sewing machine. I'm going to put in the notes a lot of different ideas of what you can do with this. And if you wanted to do something round and sculptural and put it outside, this is going to last outside. All these colors, I mean, you can keep them as the pieces as big or as small as you want. So let's say you wanted to make something big. You know, you could do big pieces like this. You don't have to do all these tiny little mosaic pieces. Come back in with something like that. The ideas are kind of endless, as usual. So save your aluminum cans, cut them up, paint them, stamp them, stitch them, you name it. I'll put some ideas and some finished work in the notes. And take a look at the website, see what other classes there are, self-paced classes. Check out the art. And as always, thank you for joining me this week, and I will see you next time. Join the Creative Awakening community on Facebook, where you'll be able to post your art, connect with other creatives around the world, and ask questions. Use the hashtag #MixedMediaSoulSparks when posting your work on social media. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.